doesn't it? To be joyful all the time, especially when you're aware of the situation that we're in. You know, the poisoning, the spraying is the one that just gets me down, and most of it doesn't bother me at all. But the bloody spraying is just, and that's the one that actually gets me frustrated at other people. I don't really care at people with various levels of norminess, but I will often find myself out loud, so saying, "No one else see this? You can't see this," to complete strangers. I'm like, "No one's getting this," gesturing to the sky. You're not going to see that. No, okay, fine. And it's really like, it's unlike me to be like that. Usually, I'm just like, everyone's on their own journey, whatever. But for some reason, that one, just the utter cowardice, pretending that you can't. You know what I mean?
How do they react? Like you're a madman?
They never even engage. They never engage. They're not going to engage. They're just going to, they're just, okay, that guy's crazy. I'd much rather deal with that. Me being crazy is much easier to deal with, isn't it, than we're being sprayed. So what do you think they're going to go with? That guy's crazy. I'm normal. He's nuts. Let's have another 100th cloudy day in a row, shall we? And I don't mean cloudy, I mean blanket greyness.
That's the thing. I never remember these blanket greyness days from my youth, and I lived a long time, not much longer than you, Alistair.
Yeah, okay, I can understand that.
I reckon the first 30, 40 years, you just did not get days like that.
No, and I remember looking at aeroplanes in the sky, and they had a little trail behind them. Sure, they did, but it didn't go all the way across the horizon. It didn't linger there. There wasn't 55 of them in noughts and crosses. You know what I mean? Like, I remember, that there is they probably just built up to or whatever. But what's going on now is certainly nothing like you're saying, like we were dealing with when we were kids. It's a marked difference.
And they are very much now in piss-taking mode, in that quite often they will do noughts and crosses lines, which I don't think they used to do earlier. Then now it's like, what are you going to do about it? Look at it. Here it is, obvious, in your face, and still they won't notice.
Yeah. I think that's what it might be. They might be just like, let's see how much we can ramp things up before they'll even notice. You know what I mean? They might deliberately just be like, I'm telling you, they won't notice if we do this, and just try. Interesting, I went on a holiday to an island off the coast of Spain, right? And this island off the coast of Spain, so I could see some spraying, major spraying going on, but not over my island. But I think in the direction I was looking was mainland Spain. And I was like, I'm pretty sure they're just battering like mainland Spain. But maybe there's something to go on holiday on an island where maybe they can't be asked to because if they're doing it in like a grid pattern, in order to include an island, it's like, we'd have to stretch the grid out. And also, if you go on holiday, I feel like to an island where there's no land base for them just to launch all these, you know what I'm saying? So I do feel like maybe going to islands might be a way to get time off for it, because I wasn't sprayed over this island.
I thought that until I went to Tresco.
Right.
In the Scilly Islands. And the Scillies are, I think, about 30 miles off the Cornish coast.
It's not bad, yeah.
And yet they had the chemtrail spraying planes out over the Scillies as well.
Oh, right. So that's not a good theory by me. It's worth a try.
I like the way that you referred to it as my island. What was the